Now at 6, a weather impact alert as we deal with the first snow of the season. What's it mean for your commute? What's it mean for school? We have it all coming up.
It's looking like a bit of a winter wonderland out here in Bristol. I'm Kaylee Collins out in the FOX61 Storm Tracker this morning, keeping a live look on the conditions of the roads for you.
2 New Haven teenagers shot and killed in less than 2 weeks, and police believe they knew each other. I'm Julia LeBlanc, and we'll have the details coming up.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
6 o'clock on this Thursday morning. Thank you for waking up with us here on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Symphony Privet.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Look, we've got all sorts of delays and closings this morning. At last check, closing in on 200 of them that have come into the Fox 61 ticker, which you can access by going to fox61.com, clicking on that red banner at the top of your screen. One quick note, though, one thing you're not going to see there on the college side, Central Connecticut State University said they are going to open at 9 a.m. today. So we've got team coverage into the impacts of that snow we got outside. As you can see, Rachel Piscatelli's taking care of traffic. Kaylee Collins is in the storm tracker, but we start with meteorologist Matt Scott. Good morning.
And the only problem that I really have with this storm, Tim and Symphony, is the timing. We talked about this yesterday, how the bulk of the action would be right in front of the morning commute, and that would definitely impact getting to work and school. Live look at Hartford, and you can see snow coming down at a pretty good clip, with temperatures at the surface just kind of hovering there near freezing. So for many of you, the main roads are fine. It's the side roads that we are taking issue with a number of slick spots. Down on the shore, it's just rain, but this is going to lead to obviously a slow commute. And then later on, the second part of this system is the winds. We'll talk about that in a second, but right now, here's a look at the satellite and radar, and you can see the radar picture, obviously, filling in nicely with some decent snow across much of Connecticut, even going a little farther south than we originally anticipated. We'll go into Middletown around Route 9. That's when I started to see the snow take over from the shoreline. But you can see the rain snow line is farther down south towards, I would say, anything north of Route 80 across much of Middlesex and New Haven County, and even into the Naugatuck Valley. We're seeing snow come down at a pretty good clip. Now, there's a little break in the action, but we will see this start to pick up again as it fills in later on for the second half of the commute. Again, watch the temperatures. They're between 30 and 35. So as we go through the morning, much of this won't be impacting the ground. It'll melt on impact, but still there's enough to stick to cause some trouble over the next few hours. And then later on, we'll get some snow shower activity in there. All right, let's talk weather alerts. We have winter weather advisories up for Tolland County and Litchfield County. It's mainly the hill towns that are seeing extra accumulation. We're talking maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches in some spots. Farther to the south, it's a coating to 2 inches, and along I-95, it's just rain. Now, let's talk about the winds, because they're going to be howling later on as we get wind advisories up through the afternoon. These temperatures into the lower 40s, upper 30s for the afternoon won't feel nearly as warm. There's going to be a raw wind that's going to hang out for a while. We'll talk about that part of the story and a look at the weekend coming up in a few minutes. Let's talk traffic right now, because if there's going to be 200 delays and closings, et cetera, at the bottom of your screen, there's a reason for that, and Rachel's got it. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Matt. What we're following right now is a closure over in Hebron, and this is due to some wires down on the roadway. So as we get into the windy conditions later on today, we'll have to be mindful of that, as there is the potential for even some power outages later on. So London Road, a portion of that is closed this morning in both directions due to those wires out on the roadways. We'll take a live look outside across the state this morning over in Waterbury on 84. Southington does have a little bit of snow covering the roadway, so you give yourself some extra time on 84. Over in Norwich on 395, we are reporting some slowdowns there, as we do have some snow out on the roads. And over in Madison, it is mainly just rain along I-95 this morning. They did kind of move the camera, but the roads over on 95 look wet, not white. Tim and Symphony?
Yeah, well, luckily, some of the highways still nice and clear for now, but not all of them. There are definitely a lot of slick roads out there today.
And I've already seen quite a few plow trucks outside, making sure everything stays smooth this morning. Fox 61's Kaylee Collins is in the storm tracker with the latest on the conditions in Bristol. How are things shaping up out there, Kaylee?
Symphony, Tim, good morning to you both. Yeah, here in Bristol, it is sticking a bit on the roadways, some slick roadways here. Like you were mentioning, not so much on the main roads or like Matt was mentioning, but more so on the side roads. So take a look at what we're seeing here now. Like I mentioned, just a little bit slick out here, so you're going to want to take it slow. You can see what we're doing, giving ourselves plenty of room between us and the cars in front of us. So you can see there's a bit of accumulation over on the roadway and the grassy areas here. And of course, we know we haven't really had to deal with these types of conditions just yet this season, but of course there's an elevated risk on the roads when it's snowing or it gets icy out there. So keep in mind that black ice can sneak up on you. It can form on any road and along curbs and rainwater drains as well. Black ice is more prevalent at night and during the early morning hours like now. So if you can avoid it, don't drive when temperatures dip below freezing after rain or in the snow melt. And also AAA does recommend a couple of tips out on the roads if you have to be out this morning. Of course, drive slowly, accelerate and decelerate slowly. You're going to want to increase your following distance, especially if you see a snowplow. Make sure you give them plenty of room to get their job done this morning. And don't stop if you can avoid it, and avoid powering up on hills. It's also not a bad idea now, if you haven't already done so, to make sure that you have an emergency kit in your car. So things like, hats, gloves, mittens, your snow brush, ice scraper, things that you might need this morning. Of course, you want to make sure that you brush off all that snow entirely before you head out if you have to be out this morning. We're going to continue to keep a live look on the roads for you, so just take it slow and give yourself plenty of time to get where you got to go. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kaylee, thank you.
Be sure to stick with Connecticut's news station for updates as this system moves through the state. We will be watching the radar and the roads for you on air, online, and streaming anytime on Fox 61 Plus. A scary ordeal for the parent of a 3-year-old after someone stole the parent's car with the child inside. Terrifying.
Yeah, this happened at a gas station yesterday in Willimantic. Police said the child was in the back seat and did turn up safe in Lebanon. And they did arrest a suspect in Preston, although they haven't publicly said who that is as of yet. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot tells us how it all went down.
This was certainly a scary situation spanning across many cities and towns in eastern Connecticut, involving many police departments, including state police. Now, police tell us the child is safe and has been taken to the hospital. This incident started at the Valero gas station on Main Street. Police say around 4:15 this afternoon, a man stole the vehicle with the child in the back seat. That vehicle was idling at the gas pumps. Police say the suspect took off with the vehicle, drove to Lebanon, where the child was dropped off in front of a business as people were coming outside. Willimantic police officers found the 3-year-old unharmed and brought him to the hospital to get him checked out. Then it was reported police arrested the suspect in Preston. He was brought back to Willimantic, where he will face charges. Police say this case is still under investigation, and the Department of Children and Families Services will be assisting with this investigation. In Willimantic, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Okay, thank you. Police in New Haven said that 2 teen boys who were killed in the past 2 weeks knew each other. Now, they were killed in separate shootings, but police said those shootings look like they're connected. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc is in New Haven with what else we know at this hour.
Police have now identified the 17-year-old New Haven boy shot and killed in the city as Daley Jackson. We are hearing from a witness who says she saw what happened, and we're also hearing from police who say they're trying to stop this same thing from happening to someone else. New Haven police say just before 7 p.m. Tuesday, Jackson was walking outside close to his house on Shelton Ave when a stolen car drove by. They say someone got out, shot him, and drove away. Police have since found that car. Jackson was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. This comes less than 2 weeks after police say his friend was also shot and killed on an Elm City street. Police say 16-year-old Uzziah Shell died after being shot while walking on Gough Street on November 22nd. The 2 boys were both enrolled at Riverside Academy and both involved in youth programs meant to keep kids off the streets. Police say they were known to be in an ongoing feud with other groups in the city. Now, police and city leaders are getting in touch with people who are associated with the boys and trying to keep them safe. They've even moved 1 family out of the area for now and plan to do the same with 2 more.
something is happening where they're getting caught up in the nonsense that is happening in our streets.
It's like, how many times does this have to keep happening? How many kids have to die? That's not normal.
Now, police say they are working hard to make arrests in both of these cases, but they need your help to do so. So if you know anything, you're asked to please reach out. In the meantime, the school district has brought in a crisis response team to help students and staff through this difficult time. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.